Leave me alone. Why do you keep following me? It's honestly so creepy, and I'm gonna call the cops. Okay?
Ma'am, no.
Because you guys aren't leaving me alone, and that's why women can't go out in the world by themselves, because of guys like you. What? Okay? So stop following me.
You have, I don't know if you have like gas. You have a thing hanging out of your car.
What are you talking about?
There's literally a gas hose hanging out of your car. No one's being creeped. Oh, no, thank you. I guess. There's the thank you. That's. She's what? She's taking it with her.
She doesn't have.
Get the hose.
Make sure to get all of it.
Wow, dude.
Nice.
You didn't even close the gas cap.
She's out here.
Alright guys, so there's a TikToker going viral for telling men to stop approaching women in the parking lot. Okay, she said, look, men, do not approach women in the parking lot ever. Okay, because apparently she had a freak out when a man approached her in the parking lot, and she's actually getting a whole lot of backlash on the internet for this story that she's telling, where again she literally freaked out on a man because he approached her in a parking lot. Now I'm not sure exactly what to think about this, which is why I'm doing this video, because I want to know you guys' opinion on her situation or what allegedly happened to her, because quite honestly I feel like there's so many different takes on this, right? I feel like you can feel a lot of different ways about what this woman went through. So without further ado, let's go ahead and play the clip of the original story that she told about what happened to her in the parking lot. Take a look.
I'm literally shaking right now because I just had a man approach me in a parking lot and it went fine. And I'm going to tell you why it went fine and how to address it, because it was in a book I read and this is how you're supposed to address it, but it scared me. I'm literally shaking. So this guy, I am alone with my son, by myself, a woman, and a male approached me in a parking lot. He's, excuse me, miss, and I don't know why in the hell he was approaching me or what he was trying to do. And before he was probably 30 feet from me when he said, excuse me, ma'am. And I turned around and I literally yelled at him and I said, do not approach me. And he immediately started going in the other direction. And I just kept saying it over and over and over. I said, do not approach me. Do not approach me. And he, of course, got what the F did it? He started cussing and yelling, what's your problem? And I looked at him and he actually then crossed a couple cars down from my car. He didn't come anywhere near me. He crossed a couple cars down from my car and was like, continuing to cuss and say, what's your problem? And I said, you do not approach women in a parking lot. I just kept saying, do not approach me. You do not approach women in a parking lot, yelling it. No male should ever approach a woman in a parking lot, ever. No male should ever approach a woman in a parking lot. And if a male does approach you, you need to turn around and use the strongest voice that you can possibly use with them. Don't be polite. They need to literally screw off. No male should be approaching you in a parking lot. A man approached me today in a parking lot while I was alone with my son, bent over trying to put him in his car seat. And I'm getting a lot of comments like this one, that how I responded to protect me and my son in that situation was over the top. Other people are saying he could have just been trying to help, or that someone that says, excuse me, ma'am, isn't a criminal. So let me ask you this. What does a criminal look like? At what point do you choose to defend yourself? Are you going to wait until somebody with an orange jumpsuit approaches you? Or maybe someone with a t-shirt that says, I'm a rapist or a human trafficker, or I'm about to rob you? Whatever your threshold might be, I would suggest that you don't wait until the person is right on top of you to do something about it. And as a woman, never underestimate your instincts.
Yeah, so I got questions, because I'm wondering how she met her husband, since she is so triggered by men approaching her in a parking lot. Now, again, I'm just saying, I mean, if she has that much social anxiety, right, or anxiety from these random interactions with men in a parking lot, I can imagine that it's probably not that much different in other settings. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there are reasons to believe that, hey, she has legitimate concern about her and her son, and random people approaching her in a parking lot. I get it, and we're going to talk more about that. But first, I wanted to tell you guys about the response. Now, she got flamed online for this, right? A lot of people kind of, started, I ain't gonna say attacking her, but criticizing her story, saying that, look, you're over the top, right? You're freaking out about this. You're just, trying to make, men seem inherently dangerous, or, trying to flame men simply for maybe being nice. Maybe the person was approaching you to let you know that, hey, your tire's flat, or maybe they, you know, wanted your cart or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's plenty of reasons why a man could have been approaching her, right? So I think a lot of people are looking at it from that perspective that, hey, you're freaking out. You are taking this a little bit too seriously. And this is how she responded.
Wow, I failed to provide some very much needed context in my last video, so we are going to get right on that. Because you guys just think I scream at guys in parking lots for fun, and that is not the case. This situation has never happened to me before, and I really hope it never happens again. So first of all, we were in a mall parking lot that was completely dead. I don't know what it is about the mall in the middle of the day, but there was nobody there. Second, this was the sketchiest looking guy I have ever seen in my entire life, and I think he was trying to ask me for money because then he proceeded to walk down the rest of the parking lot looking for people to ask. I didn't have any other form of protection. I didn't want him getting anywhere near enough to me to like knock me out and rob me. I'm not saying that definitely would have happened, but I didn't want to open up myself to that possibility. When I first saw this guy, I had just put my son in his car seat and I stood up to see this guy across the aisle, the other cars. I'm not sure if that's exactly 30 feet, but that's where he was. And I mean, he was walking as fast as he possibly could towards me, so fast that I did not have the time to walk around to my other side of the car and get in. Finally, I definitely hadn't dropped anything. This guy wasn't trying to help me. He was coming at me from the opposite direction of where I came out of the store. In general, I am not a super paranoid person. I don't scare easily. It's actually, my husband has actually had to tell me, you need to take a little bit more precautions because there are bad people in this world. So for me to be in a situation like this that legitimately scared me, it wasn't a good situation. I did what I needed to do to protect myself and my son, and if that was an overreaction, then so be it. I would rather overreact in the moment and absolutely nothing happen than open myself up to the possibility of something happening. And again, I really hope this never happens again. I like talking to people in public. I'm generally pretty friendly to people in public, but this was not that. The amount of guys that are triggered by my last post is like unhinged, absolutely unhinged. If anything, it has just solidified in my mind how important it is to protect you and your kids and to go with your instinct when you feel like you're in an unsafe situation. Stay safe out there, ladies, because if you don't keep you and yours safe, no one else is going to.
Yeah, so here's how I feel about this, right? I see both sides of this, right? I see the side from her in which she's saying, look, I feel unsafe. This random man approaches me in the parking lot, you know, and she freaked out. You know, she's trying to protect herself and her son because she's powerless and weak, okay? I mean, I get it. I understand that, right? I 100% get it. I can't tell her how to feel. But, you know, my gut feeling tells me that this is an overreaction, that she freaked out. But then again, I'm not in a position to say that she did that for sure or to tell her how she's supposed to feel. But what I do know is that we do have a society now where a lot of men feel like they can't approach women, right? Because this stuff happens more often than you think. A man is simply trying to be nice to a woman, and she freaks out over a man trying to be nice, okay? Like, you know, for example, again, you know, a woman drops her purse or something like that. She drops something, you know, you pick it up and you say, hey, you know, you drop this, and she starts like, you know, freaking out, going crazy because, again, a man, right, is being helpful or approaching her or talking to her or whatever, right? Or maybe she feels like the man is trying to hit on her or something, okay? Like, I kind of get why a lot of dudes are flaming her for this overreaction because, again, this happens a lot more than you think, okay? Again, I've had that experience of trying to be helpful to women in public and it not going so well because they overreact. So I kind of get it. But I think that, honestly, like, there's just some things that you just shouldn't post on the internet, right? Like, I don't think that she should have took her experience and posted on the internet to tell men don't approach women in a parking lot. Like, don't approach women, right? I mean, I get it. Parking lots are sketchy places where people get kidnapped. But, you know, I don't know, man. I'm just not buying this idea that, you know, she was in such a dangerous situation. Maybe she was. I'm not sure. But I don't think that it was necessary to, again, take to the internet to say, hey, men don't approach women in a parking lot, to make this overarching declaration based off this one experience that, you know, she had or whatever. But who knows? I mean, she could be a survivor of some type of trauma. You know, something may have happened to her to make her feel this way. I have no clue, okay, without knowing more about her past or history. But just based off, you know, some of her TikToks that I watched, right, I think she's a little loca. Yo creo que ella es loca, okay? That's what I believe, right? This is what I believe. So, I mean, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you guys. What do you guys think? Do you think that she overreacted, or do you think that this is the proper response from a woman when approached by a man in a parking lot? Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.